All right, welcome to the Sunday Speedrunner Spotlight episode 41. Now with a desk lamp. Huge improvements. I'm 100% more professional now. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, we have Chardcore here today. Welcome, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on. It'll be nice to have someone that has run so many games that when you go to their speedrun.com profile, it takes about 2 minutes to load properly. So, plenty to talk about. And I speak from trying yesterday, so still doesn't.
I
But
get that a lot. Surprises people. Like, I went to view your profile. I had so many runs and just didn't show up. I was like, yeah, that's normal.
yeah, it's been like that for years.
Just,
I mean, there's
just how it is.
thousands almost, right? Or something.
Thousands of runs, 6,200. And because they didn't, think about pagination, or maybe when they originally designed it, they didn't expect somebody to have 6,000 runs. So they were just like, just load them all. Or, whereas having like a little, um, you call it not a drop down, but like an arrow key, do 50 at a time per page. I got load 50 each time. It's better than loading 6,000 each time.
they
It's math.
changed that. Yeah, they changed that for the like regular leaderboards. Now it only loads like 200 runs, and you have to tab through pages. But I guess not for user profiles yet, which is interesting.
Yeah, especially in the individual levels page is even worse.
I can
It builds all
imagine.
these tables of all the runs, and it's a shit fest.
Yeah.
It's not very well designed. Not saying I could do better. It took me an hour to turn my fucking webcam on. So
Yeah. Um, the laptop was having some trouble figuring things out there, but we made it work in the end. So that's what matters. But yeah, so we want to start from the very beginning. So run one of 6,000 or whatever it was.
if we're gonna start from the beginning, I was born May 20th, 1984.
Well,
Um, New Jersey, great state, one of the 50 best states in the country. And a lot of things happened, and then I became a speedrunner. But
very
we
good.
can fast forward to 2018. So September 2018, I lost my job in Minnesota. Uh, It was a very unfortunate incident, and I was very depressed. But I was also I've been symptomatic for Parkinson's for a while, and I was like, I turned to spouse core. And I was like, all right, we gotta. Well, I still have the insurance. We should get this looked at just in case. And sure enough, in December of 2018, Parkinson's diagnosis. Um, so then I was depressed again. It's
Hmm.
not like there's nothing happy about that. It's not like it offset the depression from losing my job. Um, so I lost my job, then I lost my mobility. I still get around a little bit though, but we can get into that later. Yeah, Parkinson's diagnosis December whatever 2018, and in my downward spiral of my mental health, I started watching a lot of YouTube, and I saw some speed runs, and I never thought I could be a speedrunner. But I watched Liz Star run Mega Man DOS. I don't remember which Mega Man it was. I was like, wow, this is cool. She's playing this really shitty game fast, and people are enjoying it. And I was looking through more videos and see this boy running the Goonies too. I was like, this Arcus fellow, I like him. He's running games from my childhood and destroying them. This is pretty cool. And I also found Cats on Your Head right when she was about to be done with her streaming career. She went on to do bigger and better things. Um, and yeah, I was like, all right, fuck it. Let me fire up Twitch, make a Twitch account, be a streamer, see what I can do. See if I can either make a shit ton of money and retire, which didn't happen, or spread awareness about Parkinson's and the various shitty things that you go through, and maybe pick up some friends along the way, and maybe make a few bucks. That it was a lot easier, and that's what happened. So, if you have any questions?
there
Now's the time.
you go. I mean, It's nice to use your platform for something like that, I think. Like, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I have a
it's
family friend that has Parkinson's as well. They just like started developing it. So like yeah. I think it's important to spread awareness. And one of my more favorite actors has been Michael J. Fox because Back to the Future has been my favorite movie forever. So I am well aware
yeah.
of it, and it is important to spread awareness of.
And the important part about it is that there's multiple flavors, so to speak. It's I'm kind of tremoring a little bit right now. That's not nerves. That's just kind of what I do at this point. And you see Michael J. Fox, and he's probably 10 times worse than what I'm at. Yes, you see Muhammad Ali with his hand shaking, and people when they see that, it's they get I don't want to say the wrong idea, but they don't get the full picture. 'Cause Parkinson's is a lot more than that. Parkinson's is incredible anxiety, depression, balance issues, forgetfulness, uh, the ability to multitask, thinking problems, word fishing, so many different symptoms that you don't think about because they're not like being prominently displayed like the tremors are. And obviously, I'm 5-ish years into the diagnosis. I was symptomatic before that, so I've technically been fighting this for like 7-ish years, I think. So that's been fun. I knew going into speedrunning I was gonna probably have a short shelf life just because of the disease and the nature of the degeneration of my neurons. That's kind of why I went fucking ape shit and just tried to spam as many runs as I could. Like, I know I don't have a lot of time to do this. Let me do the fuck out of it.
And so you did. 6,000 rounds. I still just can't believe that number. It's like ridiculous.
Well, if I can get you a more ridiculous number.
Oh no.
Yeah, I should have kept this page up.
Because
There's
now it's
a
going to take like
Discord
5 minutes
server.
to load again. Oh,
No,
speedrunner.com.
there's a Discord server that shows the top 100 users for various categories, top 100 world record holders,
Hmm.
for runs, games played, etc.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, yeah, it's somebody finally put it all together into one spot. All right, so runs leaderboard. I am in 8th place with 6,226 runs. So I'm
Top
top 10.
10. Hell yeah. I can't believe there
The
are
number
greater numbers than that, but
the
go
number
off,
one
people.
user has 19,194.
Oh my god.
It's
How?
Akurataki. Shout outs to him.
How? It's just
Uh,
wild.
if I didn't have this disease and I had energy and ambition, I'd be at 20,000 myself. I wouldn't have stopped. I'd have just kept on rolling.
I respect.
Here's another one for like total games played. So unique games speed run. It just takes one run in a game to get credit for that game. I'm in third with 1,040. So I've run over 1,000 different games on speedrun.com. And again, the number one user, JPin88, has done 2,369, more than double me, and I'm in third.
God damn.
Yeah, Kurataki actually said I was part of his inspiration, which I thought was pretty cool. If I inspired people to do 20,000 runs, then it's like I almost did 20,000 runs myself. So
Yeah, that's really cool.
not taking credit, but it sparked.
It's all you, actually, I think.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I made it look cool.
Exactly. But yeah, that's wild, those numbers. And again, really cool that there's like a thing that keeps track of that information because I don't think speedrun.com it might have used to or something and now doesn't. I
Yeah,
don't entirely
it
recall.
used to,
Okay. Yeah.
and then they got rid of it, and people got pissed. And we make our own leaderboards with blackjack and hookers.
There you go.
So one more stat, and then we can move on from that.
Okay.
World records, total world records. I'm in 21st place with 1,346. Number 1 is Akurataki again with 11,822.
Jesus Christ.
And the second place person, Stath X, is at 5,800. So Akurataki has a 6,000 world record lead on the second place person.
It's funny when you are part of so many leaderboards that you have to make another leaderboard to keep track of your leaderboards. Just levels of craziness stacked on top of each other.
The rabbit hole goes deep.
I bet. But yeah, that's crazy. Those numbers. Because, like, I'm sure it's a lot of like games people don't really run that much, so it's a lot easier to like not have to play it for ungodly amounts of time. And as someone that plays the same game for an ungodly amount of time, it's very different. So it's hard to wrap my brain around that kind of, because I mean, if anything, it's probably still like more work just because of the absurd number of stuff. But you just spend like barely any time with all of them. But it's like different skill sets, I
Yeah,
guess. It's interesting to
yeah,
think about.
absolutely.
But yeah, I'm just trying to
I
understand
got.
how I ever go about something like that. I couldn't do it. I'm not cool enough for that.
I don't recommend it.
I mean, that's fair.
All right, one more statistics. I love statistics. This
Okay.
is the number of runs verified. So they're a moderator and they've verified X number of runs.
Hmm.
And Deha is in first with 42,374 verified runs.
Yeah, I don't have that many. That's for sure.
Combined, we don't have that many.
Yeah.
We're about 45,000 behind. Um,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
yeah, I wasn't always a numbers pusher. I mean, for the most part, I was. But um, before I began speedrunning, I was an Xbox achievement whore. So
Mm.
I was doing things, bashing my head against the wall, trying to make numbers go up, whether it's achievement number, gamer score, completed games, whatever true achievements it wants to track. I was like, all right, let's make these numbers go up.
Hmm.
And then I realized that was a financial sink. Once you get close to 500,000 gamer score, you look back and you're like, God damn, I spent thousands of dollars on Xbox games. And so I quit and at one day, and it was close to the time when I started speedrunning.
Wow. It's funny.
I started streaming. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's funny that he did all that with gaming and then just did essentially the same thing but in a different way.
Yeah, and I make all the bash my head against the wall, make the numbers go down.
Yeah, but the number of times he made the number went up very high.
That's shit. That's true. I didn't think about that.
But yeah,
Yeah, so
as
I
you were
started
saying.
streaming in April of 2019. Like I said, I already knew Parkinson's was gonna get me eventually. But I started out. I didn't think I was gonna be a speedrunner. I started playing casual games, just some games from my childhood. The typical path to speedrunning. I'll never speedrun. Plays a game from kids from childhood. Oh, I can speedrun this.
That's how it goes.
And indeed. And so I was playing like F-Zero X. I'm a big fan of that.
Oh, I love F-Zero X.
I was actually a top 25 F-Zero GX player back in the day.
Ooh, GX.
Um,
I've never had a
GameCube
GameCube, so
one.
I've never played that one.
It was fun. It was fun. And um, Tetris Attack I played a lot of on my stream when I started. And there's a user by the name of Sprinting Legs who's have they found me? I don't know. Because I was fresh. I was new. It's the new blood. And they liked lurking in my channel because Bleeps and Blues of Tetris Attack helped them get through work or whatever. And she was like, one day she was like, "Why don't you try speedrunning this?" And I was like, okay. I set up live split and did my run. It was a terrible run because the first run's always terrible.
Hmm.
But I was like, that I kind of like this idea, and so I started slowly speedrunning more things, and the snowball of the avalanche just kept going. And I think it was the first week I took my first world record. Everybody remembers their first,
Hmm.
hopefully. Um, so I liked Marble Madness back in the day, and I found out that there was a Game Boy version that was incredibly broken, and I was like, okay, let's see what we can do. And I think it was within the first week I tied the world record in Game Boy Marble Madness. It's like a 105 or 109, something like that. It's, the Ultimate Race isn't in that version, so it's a lot shorter.
Mm.
And I found a skip where you can skip the catapult, and just to tell you how broken that game is, you just zoom right past the catapult like it ain't even there. Um, and I tied the world record, and I was excited, and I was like, "Yeah, I did a cool thing." Uh, it ended up getting invalidated because little to my knowledge, RetroArch, which I was using for my emulation purposes, runs Game Boy games way faster.
Mm.
So they blanket banned it across the Game Boy console, which wiped out my run, and I was like, that's just understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people that might happen to. They might get pissed and like, I'm done with this bullshit. Like, I was like, oh, all right, that's understandable.
Oh, I used Super Game Boy
Just,
1. Unfortunate. Yeah.
well, I had RetroArch. I didn't do Super Game Boy.
Well, I mean, it probably used the Super Game Boy core. At least that's what Yelsrick is yelling about. Which, yeah, that runs faster
Oh,
slightly, so that makes sense.
yeah. It was some percentage, I don't remember, but it was listen, like any percentage is enough to be like this is not fair or blah blah blah.
Yeah, of course.
And nothing bad happened to me. Like it was, I didn't know.
Hmm. Well, yeah, no.
Kind of, I kind of helped, helped them find that. Took a video of like my recharge running for however long and put it next to the regular like BGB or Gambot or whatever. Um, and anyway, so yeah, my first world record was a tie, and then it was then invalidated. So, but I enjoyed running Game Boy Marbles. It was fun. Broken, but it was fun. And I decided to start, just looking into some NES games that I played as a kid, and I came across Crazy Creatures, which is an unlicensed NES game, but it's absolutely a blast. It's one of the most fun games on the console, and like nobody's ever heard of it.
I sure haven't.
I'm gonna put it in the chat so people can go play it.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's an unlicensed puzzle game. It's not like a match three. It's kind of hard to describe. There's a playfield of animals, and you have to move the cursor, pick stuff up, move it around to make like three in a row, four in a row, five in a row, and more shit's just flying at the screen the whole time. If the screen fills up, you lose. And it was one of my favorite games as a kid. Absolutely loved it. And that was my first world record. Was Crazy Creatures. The first one that stuck, anyway.
Validating.
Yeah, the first one that was actually legitimate.
Mhm.
Um, which I beat by 1 second like a year later, and then Avid Rock 42, if you're in chat, he beat my time, and I was very sad. I lost my childhood world record. I wasn't sad. I was happy for him. That's the thing about me. I'm not. You see all these like the world records and PBs and all these things that happen. I don't care if I get the world record or not. I just care that we bring the time down collectively
Mhm.
because it's us against the game. It's my mentality.
Yeah, I think
I
it's important
saw
to focus on the community push, not like the personal or worrying about it in that way at least. Like the
right.
community is the
I think
important part.
I saw Holly Go Rock in here somewhere. Maybe I didn't. He's been almost like my protege. I'm just like, here's how. Let's dive into this game and here's how to faster. And I should probably close the blinds. I'll do that next time I get up.
All right.
But, but yeah, it's always a community effort. I don't care if I get the record or if uh, somebody else gets it. As long as it goes down, then I'm happy.
Hmm. It's a good mindset.
So, past that, I did some other early grinds of like Karate Kid, Double Dragon 2, NES marbles. Um, all those games are games I'm not that great at. I'm okay at NES marbles. I'm sure he also say I'm better than that, but um, yeah, it's just branching out, playing more NES games, and I liked doing that.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't know if you have any Zelda runners in the chat, but one confession I will make is I sometimes regret not sticking with Zelda 1.
Mm.
Only sometimes. Usually when I'm drunk. But
Fair.
Zelda 1 was one of my first like real awesome speedrun memories because I had Lilavir and Pronzo and JSR all helping me, and I was like, I'm the new kid on the block. They didn't have to do anything of what they did, but Lilavir, joined a Discord call and talked me through the route and talked me through the game. And the very first time doing that, I finished the run. It was like an hour and change because there's a lot of explanation for a Z1 run,
Hmm.
but that was one of my best and earliest memories. Um, and like I said, Pronzo, JSR, and other folks were instrumental in that, and they were blown away by how fast I got to sub 40. The goal is sub 30. That's the milestone, but sub 40 still for a new runner is pretty good. I
Hmm.
got like a 38 something. I don't remember exactly what it was. But after that, I don't say burned out on it. I was like, I'll come back to this, and I did at one point, but it didn't go very well. But we don't talk about that.
Okay. I mean, that's still a great time in that category. I mean, that game is hard as a speed run. So much luck involved, so much memorization. So I think that's pretty
Very
good.
little skill involved. Like,
Well, I would say there's a lot of skill involved, but that's just
yeah,
me.
if I were better at the screen wraps, I probably still would have kept running it. But screen wraps broke my brain, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean that is like pixel perfect or something. So
And you stand 5 pixels away from the screen, and then tap up or down once for one frame, and then walk through the screen, and walk through the other side, and
hmm, yeah, just a little tricky,
yeah, just a little bit.
just a little bit. But yeah, it's a cool speed run. It's not like something I'd ever do. Like that's one of the games I'm like that's too hard for my small brain. I need like run right, and that's all I have to worry about.
Oh yeah, it's SMB. It's easy. Just run
It's
right.
free. It's easy.
I got the sub 5 while we're doing this.
Oh wow, that's really cool. Didn't even notice.
It's, it's okay. It's retro art. She'll get banned. So
Well,
I never learned my lesson.
well, NES shouldn't have like a bad core that makes it bad. You could say you
Um,
played an
excuse
FCUX
me.
emulator. That would be banned because it's not accurate apparently. So there you go.
Yeah, there's I use Messin
Mm.
098, and also Messin RTA 006 is a good one as well.
Yeah, we
Um,
have a specific Messin patch that a community member made that's allowed for SMB specifically. So it's a good one.
I think I had to run Nestopia
When
for
I started
SMB1.
speedrunning, I did Nestopia. Um,
I
that's
think
like
I ran
generally
SMB for like 5 minutes. No, not like
that's all
for
you
five
need,
minutes, but
right?
yeah. I was happy to beat the game. I never beat the game as a kid, so I was like, let's try and beat it, and I did. And I beat it twice. I was like, all right, we're done. I'm in
That's
eight
fair.
thousandth place. Who cares?
Exactly.
It's the dichotomy of speedrunning. You see the world record or 8,000th place.
Hmm.
Who cares? If you're happy, you're happy.
Precisely. And you got to say you beat the game, so that's important.
I did. So if I ever go on a bender and try and beat all the NES games, got that one out of the way. It's a hard one.
Yeah, start casually. It is pretty difficult. I only beat it when I was like 5 or something, but I played it a
You've been
lot as a
alive
kid.
for 5 minutes. You get a
Mm.
5 minute run.
Exactly. It's just that easy.
It's free.
But yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. I've been rambling a lot. If you got any questions or whatever,
you ramble away. It's what we're here for.
it makes your job easier.
Oh yeah. You're revealing
then
my
you have to do
secrets.
less interviewing. Um, so again, I was just trying my hand at various NES games. Um, one of my good the struggling to talk now. One of my good memories was Arcus when he used to do the Fresh Fridays.
Mm.
He did a Fresh Friday for Kid Nicky, and that was a game I had as a kid, and I was like, oh yeah, that game exists. They run this, and so I would start running it, and Arcus pops into my stream, and I was like, holy shit, Senpai noticed me. Um, like I was still a noob at this point. I didn't even know like I was on his radar for anything. I guess once he saw the kid, I was playing Kid Nicky, and said, let's check her out. And then I beat his time while he's watching me,
Drama.
and I that's just such a fantastic memory.
That's a good one.
But once I got my footing, so to speak, in the NES world, I came up with an idea for the year of 2020, and I'm gonna type this in chat because it's it's easier to see the pun, see the capitalization. The Nestruction Dwerby was a project that I launched in the beginning of 2020. The entire purpose of that year for me was to get as many NES world records as I could. Yeah, I was inspired in a way by like TMR with this, NES Mania and people trying to beat all the games in general. I wanted to just, I wasn't going to get a world record in every game, obviously, but I wanted to see how many could I get. Just anything goes. If there's no runs on the board, I take it. That counts. If I beat one, it counts. If I tie one, it counts.
Yeah.
And
NES has got plenty of garbage to choose from, so.
oh, it does. That's why I loved it so much. And so, long story short, for 2020, I hit 151 NES records.
Damn.
It's condensed into that calendar year, and asterisk. Some of them are just empty individual level boards, but that the boards have to start somewhere. Like
Hmm.
if nobody runs it, then maybe nobody's gonna run it. So
A
everybody
pioneer.
wants to take the easy road like I do. Like, oh, empty board, mine.
That's
So
wow.
yeah, that was it's a big part of my speedrun career was the Dwerby.
Sounds like it was quite successful, so that's good.
It kind of was. Yeah, I could have done more. I actually got
Could have got
sick
more than
during like
150.
yeah, I ended up getting sick. I forget even what it was, but it like knocked me out for a little bit. And again, as the Parkinson's progresses, or as time progresses, so does the Parkinson's. And we found out that um, there's a second tier of Parkinson's called Parkinson's Plus or Parkinsonism.
Oh.
The main difference between these two things is that Parkinsonism, even if some of the symptoms are similar to regular Parkinson's, Parkinson's plus Parkinsonism, those are fatal diseases. So you can have the fatal version of Parkinson's, which I do, or you
Hmm.
can have the garden variety one, which I don't. So I found out, through genetic testing that ran through my family. My grandfather had it. My brother died from it. My mother has it. One of my uncles had it. I have it. It's a genetic mutation that just ran through my family. And finding out that I have, there's like three or four different Parkinson's plus conditions. It doesn't really matter, honestly. They're all gonna kill you. They're all gonna have similar onset. It's similar symptoms. No treatment other than like the standard Parkinson's treatment. There's no cure. Like it doesn't matter. And when I found out that I had that, I was like, oh shit, I gotta speed run even more. So I did.
That's fair.
I was like, now I know my time is limited, so I gotta get some shit done here. Um, But also in 2020 during the Derby, I did the first iteration of the Chardcore 20. So um, most of you are familiar with the Big 20, 20 NES games, various goals. Um, I started my own because I didn't like the games that they had in theirs, and um, Overswarm ended up winning the first Chardcore 20. So he's the only person to win the Char 20, the Big 20, and the Nescathlon, the
Damn.
triple crown of elite speedrun marathons. I think 5 people ran just for the Chardcore 20. It didn't go very well.
Mm.
I put some shitty games in there. So that was the point. Like Big 20, they have their kind of palette of games, and I wanted my own palette of games
Mm-hmm.
to see if I could get some ignition to underutilized or underappreciated boards, which we're currently now doing with board boosters.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to segue into that one. Coco or Avidrock or someone, if you can post a link or something for board boosters, to get that in the chat, that'd be cool. Basically, I get out of the sun. A vampire. It's the black lipstick, you could tell.
Yep.
Um, Board boosters is finding underutilized boards, spinning a wheel to see what game we're going to play, and everybody in the board boosters community just descends upon that game for a month, and it's a really cool idea. It's definitely something that I've enjoyed being a part of because part of my goal in speedrunning was to show off the underappreciated, the underutilized, the janky games that nobody wants to play. So it made me happy to see that, and hopefully we can get more people doing that because at some point people are going to run out of games. Like people are going to like the barrier of entry for SMV1 is going to get to a point where it's like everybody can do it. Everybody can do the sub 5, and they got to play something else at some point. So, I was hoping to show off that's something else at some point to games.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, that's a cool project. Um,
Yeah,
so
it's been
a
fun.
whole month on just like random garbage.
One piece of random garbage actually.
Mm.
So and there's strat finding and we did Defenders of Dynatron City. And that's going to trigger some people when I say those words, but
I don't even know
that
what that
was
is.
you're lucky.
Yeah.
That was a fun game. It was janky, but it was fun. And me and Uchi, who ended up settling out with the record, we put a lot of time into routing that and trying things out. I made a task for it. We get to tasking later.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I've done a lot in speedrunning. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
If anybody's got any questions or donations, now's the time.
Donation. This isn't a
That'd
speedrun
be a great.
marathon.
Chardcore donates $69 and just that's nice.
That is nice. Oh,
Or
here.
like Boko just said in the chat, they got 30 new runs for Oregon Trail, which is a zombie apocalypse version of Oregon Trail,
Oh.
and brought the world record down by a few minutes. That was a fun one. I wasn't as instrumental in that one because I didn't like the game, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I don't know about a ton of the garbage games, so anything you probably talked about, I haven't heard of. And I'm gonna be like looking it up and learning after this, probably.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I wouldn't recommend learning from my page though.
Hmm.
Just type the names of the games in the search bar. Don't let it load my page.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have like half an hour to wait. But
All right. So the various bad ideas part of the of this recap is getting into mobile games.
mm.
So 2021, I was kind of going hard on the mobile games because they were very easy numbers. Like I let the numbers take over my brain. Like that's when it really started. It was like, all right, we're gonna just try to get to 10,000 runs or 1,000 games or whatever. Like I just wanted to just boost my numbers to stupid levels, and I kind of regret doing that because it was a big time and energy sink.
Hmm.
But I guess if it's fun, then it wasn't really fun. But if it's fun, then it's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Mobile games are interesting, say the least.
Mobile games tend to have a lot of individual level boards, which was why I got so many runs and so many records for a while. 'Cause there'd be games with 100 blank boards, like levels 1 through 100. Nobody's run them.
Hmm.
Here comes Chardcore.
Perfect.
No, the opposite of that.
Oh well, okay. Yeah,
Very heavily flawed, I would say.
maybe. But it is funny to think about because like what Subway Surfers became like the most run game on SRC. That's a mobile game.
Yeah, that was a Brazilian Brazilian TikToker with millions of followers. TikTok. What is it? Just is it TikTok?
I don't
I'm not.
know.
I'm too old for this shit.
I don't go to that app. I don't have it.
Yeah, I don't either. So they ticked and they talked or whatever.
Something
Hickory
like that.
dickory dock, ticky tacky, whatever it's called. They did one of those things and showed off this mobile game Subway Surfers, and basically instantly there were about 50,000 people running that game. It was just astronomical.
Yeah,
It
that's
was blowing away Minecraft and like Roblox and all that shit. Like Subway Surfers was the thing for a while. I think it still has a big following, but not as big of a following.
mhm.
I'm going to look that up because I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I just remember seeing it whenever I would open the website. I'm like, why the hell? And it was always like quadruple any other active game.
Yeah, yeah, that was the influence of one Brazilian TikTok or whatever. That's all it took.
Damn. It's that easy, huh? But yeah, that's my
Um,
mobile game knowledge in the speedrun terms is just that. But I'm sure there's plenty to go around.
yeah, there's other games that follow similar. Yeah, there's 43,868 runs of that game now.
Oh my god. Why?
28,370 different people ran that game
Had to
just because of a
process that
TikTok.
number. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fascinating statistics,
I ran
honestly.
it. I ran it before it was cool. Just to say that
It was part of the mobile grind.
it was in
There you
there.
go. You pioneered it. It's all you.
And it wasn't the Brazilian TikToker.
No, not at all. TikTok, I don't know what that is.
Speaking of board boosters, Zarek is in the chat.
In the whole community.
Zarek, lover of Solar Jetman, hater of everything else that's fun.
Yeah. So what other highlights have been boosted on the board?
So we did the one they did before I joined was Dreamworld Pogi, which was an NES game, air quotes here,
Hmm.
like a prototype game that never got released, and it triggers a lot of people because it was a shitty platformer with shitty physics. And I'm glad I joined after they boosted that, so I got to play Dynatron, which was the good game. Right, Zarek? Summoned you. All right, where are we at here? So yeah, so 2021 was uneventful other than running a shit ton of things. Um, there was February and March of 2021, each individual month, I submitted over 1,000 runs, or both of those
Jeez.
months. And I regret doing that because that was really tiring.
How do you even?
'Cause first you got to get the game, then you got to do the run, record the run, then you got to upload the run to YouTube or somewhere, and you got to submit it to SRC, and you got to do all this shit. And I did that. It was like 1,100 times in February and 1,300 in March. It's like most of my runs actually came in that 2 month stretch
Hmm.
because like I said, various bad ideas.
I just don't understand how you can even do that. That number seems like ridiculous for that amount of time.
It is. I was just I was just stubborn and didn't want to stop and push myself and keep going and it was a bad idea.
Or these like super short, like IL random garbage stuff.
Like download a game, run the first level. It's 3 seconds. Okay, I did the speed run.
Okay,
Submit it. Delete game. Go to the next game.
that's fair.
There were some that actually played more than once, and like actually put a little bit of time into it, and they're kind of fun. So it wasn't all just easy janky stupid shit.
Yeah. I assume if you play enough games, like you eventually like hit at least something that was better than most. It's kind of like a hidden gem.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, it's a game you can't get anymore. It's been taken down from the Play Store and the iOS app or store, whatever that's called, Apple Orchard, Apple Market, Trader Joe's, wherever you get your iPhone apps. I don't have an iPhone. Um, the game is no longer available on either platform, and I have a good 190 records in that game, I want to say,
Solid number.
that now can't be beat because the game doesn't exist anymore.
Now that's the big brain idea.
Exactly.
Is it like lost media even? Like no one backed it up or anything?
Uh, I looked for it, I couldn't find it.
Well, there you go. You've won. You've won speedrunning. Permanent world records.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm still just trying to
And I
wrap my
can't.
head about getting that many runs done in that amount of time. The numbers are so large and the time frame. I just literally can't comprehend it.
I think I broke the camera.
Yeah, I know some people that have done that.
Wait, where am I? Oh, I was looking at the camera on the app. I got confused. I went to the app instead of the website.
Hmm.
That's a Kate in the chat. What's going on, Tekkit? Tekkit love. Tekkit, the recent destruction of Chippendale, which is a game I hate.
Mm. Uh-oh.
Shout outs to Tekkit.
Did you run
This is
that?
my one. I wanted to run it to get to sub 10, and I got like a 10:59, and then it's like whatever,
You
close
meant
enough.
sub 11.
I'm at sub 11.
Yeah.
I'm not good at platformers. That's the whole thing. Like the reason I play so much janky bullshit is because I'm not good at platformers.
Yeah, gotta be good at
Although I'd
something.
probably still play the janky bullshit anyway. Honestly,
That's
um,
fair.
that's more my speed, more my style.
Understandable. I'm sure janky bullshit can be fun sometimes. I don't know how often, but surely sometimes at the very least.
Occasionally, occasionally. There are some games that I didn't enjoy. It was a slog, and but I did it anyway because for the numbers.
Bigger number, better person, of course.
That's right.
Hmm.
I'm one of the best persons by that logic.
I don't think anyone would argue that. That's just numbers, numbers and facts.
The numbers don't lie.
Hmm.
Where'd my notepad go? There it is. So yeah, that was like 2021 was just literally mobile games and number boosting, and I also ran more console games too. It wasn't all mobile that whole year. I ran, I remembered you could record from the Xbox. So I started running games on my Xbox because Game Pass has, 100 and whatever games and
Hmm.
get that for free. Because, well, not free, you pay for Game Pass, obviously, but um, that was that many more, um, that many more runs in games. You don't get to 1,000 games by playing SMB.
Yeah.
No offense to SMB runners in chat. I know we've got a few now.
Yeah, you
And I
don't.
have a foot cramp. Ow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need a second.
That's all right. Let's see. So I've heard of a lot of like NES and mobile games, but and now Xbox, but how many consoles do you have? Like and have a run games from?
That's a good question. I don't know if I can look that up.
Mm. You can just give an estimated guess.
Uh, so different consoles. Trying to think. At least like 2 dozen probably.
Wow.
See Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, NES, Master System, Genesis, Super Nintendo, Atari, ColecoVision, and Television, um, Xbox One, Xbox 360, a PC. I don't know. I mostly stuck to NES and adjacent content.
I
Um,
assume you
it's
mostly
just
play on emulator because that'd be a lot of consoles to own.
yeah, I'm a dirty emulator peasant.
Well,
I don't care if it's I don't care for the hardware.
yeah. I mean, it is easier, and with ease of access comes more playtime and bigger numbers. So it makes sense to me.
Exactly. Exactly. If I had to do this on console, I'd have like 3 runs.
Yeah,
We wouldn't be having this conversation.
makes sense.
So, yeah, end of 2021, I was really burned out and my skills were declining. The Parkinson's is getting worse. I made the decision I was going to stop streaming and speedrunning because I couldn't do it anymore. And so the end of 2021 was my first speedrun retirement. There were more,
There
like
always
five
are
or
more.
six,
Yeah.
but I'm the Brett Favre of speedrunning. Just kept retiring and coming back out. Shifting is hard. And that's actually an interesting thing. Like, see if I can do this. This is a Parkinson's demonstration. I'm trying to push myself back on the where the light beam is going,
Hmm.
and I can't. Like my muscles don't do that now.
Wow.
So there's frequent times where I get stuck in positions, and that's not fun.
Yeah, that I can't say that would be fun for anyone.
Meds only help so much too. That's the shitty part.
Mm.
On a related note, I need to take my 2 o'clock meds, so this would be a good time for like a 5 minute break.
Sounds good. All right. We'll come back in a moment. BRB. Right,
There are
we'll be
some planes
back.
flying around. You might hear them.
Oh well. It's the aircraft that there's some sign. I'm blanking on it right now. Speed limit enforced by aircraft. You're just speed running too fast. I think that's what it is.
Probably. We live close to the Space Force base, so they do a lot of flight tests and drone tests and stuff. I think it's loud.
Mm. Well, I haven't heard it yet, so maybe the mic's doing its job. We did get the better
We did,
microphone
I was gonna say we
working
did improve the
maybe.
mic.
So I think it worked out that way. So anyway, I think we left off at around like late 2021 going into
My first
2022.
retirement.
Yeah, the first retirement. First of many.
Yeah. I was Overstorm was running an event called the Zenith, and it's his take on like competitive what's the word? It's not like a marathon because you could run the games at your own pace. It was a PB chase basically, and people get scores ranked on how well they did relative to other people and stuff. And I was doing one of those, and I, like I wasn't happy with my results because by that point I'm already a few years in, a few years deep in the Parkinson's. So my skills, they're going to decline. It's just how it's going to be. And I didn't want to be like that. I'm a prideful person. It's a bad disease to have if you're a prideful person. And I wasn't going to let myself be a suboptimal speedrunner, according to my own internal, challenges, not anybody else's. I don't want to seem like I'm putting anybody down or anything, but there's a level that I aspired to get to. If I couldn't get to it, I wasn't going to do it.
Yep.
So that's when 2022 started. 2022, I had the brilliant idea, or various bad ideas, of tassing. Tassing is a lot chiller than speedrunning. It's got its own challenges and stuff that it comes with, but it's not quite as physically intensive.
Hmm.
So I was like, all right, let me look into this task thing. It's cool. There's so many cool tasks out there, and some of them are mine. Some of them aren't mine, but some of them are. And I was like, let's see what we can do. So what do you think happened?
Got a little addicted to
I got a little addicted to it,
it.
and I ended up winning Tasser of the Year, Rookie of the Year, NES Tasser of the Year, Atari Tasser of the Year, and Lucky Tasser of the Year
Well, goddamn.
in, in my first year testing. It started out with Great Waldo Search, which was a game I was very familiar with in my RTA speedrunning career.
Legendary
There was
game.
a Tasser. Me and Overstorm went back and forth on that for a while, and then 8 Bits of Joy, if they're in the chat, he took it over. There's people with like 3 times the amount of runs that I have. I just saw that in chat. Sorry,
Mm,
I'm not
yeah.
checking chat like a good streamer.
Well, I'm the streamer, so it's my fault, actually.
All right, good. No, I can blame you for everything.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so I'm intimately familiar with Waldo. It's not quite the best way to phrase that, but I knew about the game and the path that they took for the tasks. I knew there was a faster path, like going into certain levels and getting certain patterns lead to other patterns, and not every pattern's available. So there's like a specific way you can go through it and get like all the good patterns that they just didn't do. And so I improved the task by it was like 4 frames or 8 frames, some shit. That's still an improvement. And it gave me my first published task. So I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then 75 published tasks later, here we are.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
It was fun. I'm not knocking it at all, but maybe I didn't have to go quite so hard on it.
I'm just noticing a
I
pattern,
just
so.
Yeah, exactly. You can get addicted to anything. My addictions were speedrunning and tasking.
Could be worse. There could be much worse
And
addictions.
Ensure. I'm gonna be a shill for Ensure beverages.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored. That's right. But if I was, I would drink Ensure.
There you go. Heard it here first.
Like I said, there's challenges to tasking as well that are different from speedrunning. Namely, in that you have to be as close to perfect as you can, but you get the benefit of being able to go frame by frame through everything and test everything,
Hmm.
and you can do some crazy shit. And you can also hunt for so tasking. The timing begins on power on. So like if there's ever a game where you have to wait a long time on the title screen for a certain seed or whatever, you're probably not doing that in the test. You're probably taking the first frame and diving through that, seeing if it's fast, and kind of go from there.
Hmm.
Um, but so time ends on a task when you hit your final input, and you can let the game play out from there if that's available. So you see some games like it's not practical, like SMB1, the task. It wouldn't be practical to try and delay the inputs because you can't do it any faster.
Hmm.
It's just gonna play out. But the lucky task of the year that I got was Warlords for the Atari 2600 because you can select a certain level, start on a certain frame, and not touch the paddle, and you will win. So my final input was like 0.26 seconds in, and technically, even though the run plays out for 5 minutes, it still counts as a task as 0.26 seconds.
Fascinating.
So then what do you think happened?
Wow.
I did a ice hockey task, did a double dribble task. I started doing sports tasks because you can manipulate um, RNG in such a way where like double dribble task, I score I think it's like 56 or 59 points right off the bat, and then I don't touch the inputs, and the AI doesn't beat me. They come close, obviously, but they don't win.
It's an
Focus's
interesting.
adventure was great too.
Oh, for Atari.
Yeah. Um, there, the game three for the Atari adventure is it's a randomizer. It's not technically a randomizer, but it like shuffles things to different spots. The key is in a different room, and chalice is in a different room, and all this shit. So what I did was I got the chalice as quick as I could, and I let the bat steal it. And I get eaten by a dragon. And while I'm digesting or getting digested by this dragon, the bat just comes down and delivers the chalice to the castle. Because I entered input 20 seconds prior to that.
Hmm.
Because all that matters is the chalice touches the open door. And that was a fun one.
Yeah. It's very interesting to like
Trying to
try
think.
to improve it based on your final input rather than like when like normal timing would end. It's very
Right,
unique in
like
that way.
it's I love it. If I had the energy, I'd still be doing that, probably hunting more sports games to find out, what's the final input here.
Yeah, so bunch of tasks, and those are a lot of work for each one too. So to have that many under the belt, it's got to be. Well, I know a couple were like less than a second, but still.
And Warlords was just figuring out the idea, and the execution was like click, 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 done.
I'll have to watch that one.
Yeah. Let me pull up my task profile. I'll link it in the chat here.
Yeah,
Just gotta get to it.
yeah. If you got any more highlights from your collection,
I'm gonna be here all day, so
yeah, that's fair. But you can choose the best of the best, unless you already did.
all the best.
Oh, okay.
It's the fun part about it. Excuse me.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair.
I, I put a link in that got deleted, so
Hmm.
you can. I'm still Chardcore on task videos, so you can you can add that to the layout on the stream.
Well, I'll just put it in the YouTube description.
That works too.
The I'm pulling the that information from somewhere else that I can't edit at the moment.
It's all good.
But the link is there
So
somewhere currently.
so yeah, I enjoyed the tasking, but I enjoy speedruns more. So guess what happened at the end of 2022?
retirement from retirement.
Exactly. Yeah, I gotta shift here. So I got back into speedrunning, despite my health being really terrible. Um, with a focus on NES World Records, Kel Surprise. Um, but Aaron 2U2 has a world record tracker sheet for NES games, and pull it up. See where I'm going with this.
Hmm.
All right, NES game record list. What is that?
Does
Would
that
open,
keep
that'd be
track
great.
of every category from every NES game as well?
No, it's one category per game. So
Oh,
like
okay.
the main category of each game
Mm,
is determined by Aaron,
I
and
see.
the leaderboard for licensed games, for US and PAL licensed games, NEScard now has 49 world records. I have 32. So me and NEScard have almost 100 of the games by ourselves.
It's a lot of them. Well, I guess the NES
It's
library is
quite a few.
quite large, but that's a lot for an individual person,
Yeah, definitely.
especially if that's only counting the main category. And I don't think I'm on that list then. Unfortunate. I fell off. Oh well.
All right. So yeah, most of this year has been getting back into trying to get NES records because that sheet kind of lit a fire under my ass. So I was like, all right, let's do this. But various bad ideas later, um, I'm definitely done. Like I pushed it way too far. I pushed my myself way too far. Not to the point of like badly harming myself or anything. Just I shouldn't have done so many runs this year. But I came up with a thing called hashtag Char Strats, and some world record runs have that in the description, even if it wasn't me that got them. I know Hollywood Rock has done that. Guarantee You 2 has done that. Like Char Strats is basically finding a question that nobody asked. So a lot of people they'll look at a speed run, they'll say, "Oh, that's the speed run," and they'll do it, and maybe they'll do it really well. But what if that's not the optimal course of action? What if there's something out there that everybody missed? And so I found a few instances of that throughout this year. One good example is Jordan versus Bird. It's like a 28, 29 second basketball game where you have to hit 6 shots. You need to score 11 points. So the 3 pointers are actually 2 pointers in that version of the
Hmm,
game for whatever reason. So you figure, okay, I need 11 points, and I just need 6 shots. That's 12 points. That's fine. You win. But people forget that you can dunk in basketball, and nobody thought to do that. And then it's like, all right, so let's just give this a try. To make the first 5 shots, you're at 10. You need to get to 11. You juke Bird, do a dunk, and that's actually faster. And I took the record down just by asking that question. Like,
there you go.
why has nobody looked into this? Or why has nobody dunked?
You
And
dunked on all of them.
Spot the video game. I did. The lack actually re-dunked on me though. He got it. My execution was sloppy.
Mm,
The lack attack took that one back, and that's fine. We like lack. But then there's Spot the video game, the one with like the game board, and you can duplicate your ship, or you can jump to another to 2 squares up. It's a very short game, and I had noticed that I discovered this accidentally, but if you wait in the demo screen for the game to start, you can get a different pattern of moves from the AI once the game actually starts. So instead of just setting everything up, hitting start and go, we set everything up, we wait, we see a demo screen come up, we hit the button, we wait for like 20 demo screens. And doing that makes the CPU move in such a way where you can win a turn quicker.
Hmm.
And those are the kind of rabbit holes that I go down. Or I used to, I guess. I'm actually retired at this point. I'm not coming back to speedrunning. It's too much for my body at this point. But I still try and help out with strats or advice or whatever when I can. And I have the energy to do it.
Yep. Have we reached present day, essentially?
Basically, yeah. Most of this year has been like shark stratsing. One game specifically I tore into is Maniac Mansion.
Which
Uh,
version?
the NES one.
Oh, okay.
So me, NES 7 or 9, NIS 3, Captain Shrimpy. I think Avidrock and Boca were also part of this as well. Um, we kind of collectively destroyed any percent in Maniac Mansion. 7 or 9 destroyed Hamsteak percent, and that was I call that out specifically because Maniac Mansion's a great game, and it's one of these instances where I don't have a run on the any percent for that, even though I basically routed the whole thing.
You see, that's
Oh,
smart. Just have everyone do the work for
Seth
you.
Dresh. Seth Dresh was the other person. Sorry, I misread there, Seth. But
Okay. Yeah, I know nothing about the speed runs, so hearing ham steak percent is interesting.
so Hamsteak percent is a meme category, believe it or not, where you have to get all three kids killed by giving Ed his microwaved hamster, or the last kill has to be giving Ed his hamster that you've blown up in the microwave. Um, but
Okay,
what we found out, so you can steal his hamster and you can nuke it, right? And you get the exploded hamster. If you give it back to him, he kills you. Um, and so the run is to have him kill you last. But we found out you can telefrag the kids, so you can give them the ham steak and kill one of the other kids. So you still have the kid in his room with the ham steak that hasn't been used because you killed another kid without using a hamster. It's a whole bunch of it's a mess, but it's a beautiful mess. It runs under like 250 now, I think, or 248. So it's a fun run. It's real quick.
yeah, I love meme categories.
I've also I've forced some people to make categories just because of my shenanigans.
Fair enough.
Um, RBI Baseball 2 and 3 are basically the same game. Just like roster differences, it's whatever. I don't think there's anything different mechanically. But there's a lose a game category, and a lot of sports games have a lose a game category, and I love that because I love figuring out how to lose the game faster. So nobody thought in RBI 2 or 3 that you can forfeit. So you can actually start the game, forfeit immediately, or within a second or two, and you lost the game. So it's like cool, submitted, bang. I lost faster than anybody else, and they made a category called forfeit percent just for my run, and for subsequent runs like it.
Fantastic.
So I've even if I haven't created it myself, I've created a lot of extra runs. Like Adventure, going back to that one. So the RTA run for Adventure, push the chalice through a wall, through a screen, and screen wrap the chalice to make it faster to pick up on the way back. And it beat the world record by like seconds. And then they decided to make a glitchless category and a glitched category
Hmm.
just because of my shenanigans of pushing the chalice through the screen.
I can't believe
I
you
just have a knack
glitched.
for finding stuff like that. I had a knack for finding stuff like that. That was That was my forte. I was never a good speedrunner. I was a good router, numbers booster. I, I, I'll say I was a good speedrunner, not a great one. Good is fine.
Depends on your definition, I guess, but I'd say
Yeah, there
not
were
very many people have hundreds of records, so if we go off that statistic,
thousands.
thousands even.
I've probably lost more world records than I currently still have. I know I've lost at least 1,000,
It
which is
takes a
kind of fun to think
community to
about.
beat you.
Pretty much. Yeah, other than speedrunning and stuff, we can just ramble on about other shit that I used to do. I used to be a bowler.
Mm,
Almost went pro. Um, averaged 217 at my peak. I had multiple 300 games, tournament wins, league wins. It was a pretty big deal,
damn.
but I just wasn't good enough. Like the pros are the pros for a reason, and I
Hmm.
learned that very quickly.
Yeah. What about Wii bowling though?
Fuck Wii bowling.
Okay.
Don't ever you say that again. I'm shutting the stream off.
I'm not saying anything.
Fuck Wii bowling. That's a trigger word for me, like
Uh,
for real. Because
any
my average
moving
in
on.
real life was higher than it was higher than any game I ever threw in that piece of shit. I broke 200 once. It's just it's so I hate it. I hate it. But yeah, bowling was my other big thing that I did for like 30 years that I can now no longer do, obviously.
Hmm.
So
I mean, that's cool.
to play chess as well as Eric knows all about that.
I'm sure you have some chess speed runs. There's plenty of chess games.
Fittingly enough, my final world record is battle chess.
And there we go.
Because I'm like I said, I'm done at this point. My body cannot do it anymore, and I can't be too stubborn. I can't keep pushing it.
Hmm.
But since I was going to go out with a bang, I was like, all right, let's take battle chess back, and I did. I had Chessmaster until 8 Bits of Joy decided to get like a fucking monster run. It's probably not even beatable. GG. Yeah, chess speedruns were a thing too. I did a lot of Scrabble speedruns too. The
Mm.
PlayStation game Scrabble.
I didn't know there were Scrabble games.
Eh, plenty of them.
I'm sure there are. I just couldn't think of any.
Yeah, I'm running out of things to ramble on about.
Well, you can just
A
go
lot
over.
of it's condensed into I did 1,000 of this. I did 1,000 of this.
Yeah, that. I guess it's hard to remember everything.
It's hard to remember anything at this point.
Yeah, that's also fair. Um,
I'll get a notice on speedrun.com. It's like so and so beat your world record in some game, and I'll be like, well, I had the what? I had the record.
what game is this? I've never heard of this game. Telling me I had the record.
Exactly.
That's funny. But yeah, like you can just keep going over any like highlights that stick out in your mind because I'm sure there's got to be plenty, right?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
It's mostly boring.
Uh, unfortunate.
I did have the first ever pinball full manip run. That was fun. So NES
Yeah.
pinball. You can fully manip the game. You can fully manip a lot of games, so that's not a shock.
Hmm.
But I managed to do that, and it happened to be world record at the time too, which was kind of funny. It was like an 8 or 9 input run. It was really silly. And then Holly Go Rock, who I've seen poking around in chat, he's got the pinball records now. And that's another instance where like I was, I'm not taking any credit from him, but I helped with routing and strategy. He came up with a pause buffer idea, which is really nice. It was a good collaborative effort for me to relinquish more world records upon the rest of the people. I just give them away.
So
See, yeah, that was a team effort.
Is that like doing frame perfect inputs on when to hit the ball or something?
Yeah, for the entire run. Yeah.
I see. I mean, sounds difficult. I mean, the NES is 60 FPS, more than that, barely.
Yeah. Luckily, a lot, like I said, it's literally like 8 or 9 inputs for that run, and like 3 or 4 of them are the plunger. So
Hmm.
you really don't have to do a whole lot if you get the right. Um,
I guess I didn't think
you
about
have
the
to wait.
plunger.
You have to wait X number of seconds in the demo screen to get the right seed for the plungers, and you got to do the right plungers and certain motions with the flippers, and it's uh, it's pretty cool.
That's interesting.
I agree with what Avodrock said. Do you have any questions in chat? I
Yeah,
don't. Just gonna keep rambling on. If there's questions, ask them now. You may not get a
ask
chance to.
ask away. But yeah, yeah. Feel free to just whatever comes to your mind. You can talk about it here. Anything you want to mention.
Uh, don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, that's fair.
Uh, I'm in Colorado. I can do drugs. So you can't do drugs, kids. You're in Colorado with me.
Trying to think of some questions myself. I mean, we went over most of everything that I usually ask. Just you knew what to say, so pretty impressive.
I came prepared. I had a notepad with all kinds of stuff on it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
That's good to be organized.
Yeah,
I have a cheat sheet.
I love cheat sheets.
Is it actually possible to save the pieces in Snoopy? Snoopy, that's a good example of another game that was a collaborative effort. Um, Overswarm would do a sub raffle on Saturdays called Sub Saturdays. Funny, I know. And one day somebody picked Snoopy Silly Sports Spectacular, and he started playing it a little bit, and we're like, the runs on the board seemed a little bit unoptimized. So we basically tore that game a new asshole. Um, it's like an Olympic style, like a track and field style game, but with like Snoopy and weird events and shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, we tore into that game and walked out with like all the records. I still have 2 of those. My longest standing world record, I think, is Snoopy's gold. If anybody wants a target to go beat. And to answer your question, Biddies, yes, you can save the pizzas, but it's actually faster. If you were able to do task precision, you actually want to drop a pizza or 2 right before the end of the stack, or right before the end of the track. What we do in RTA is just hold right, drop the pizzas, and go. But
I'm pretending I
you can
understand what we're
actually,
talking about.
it's insider talk. You don't have to worry about it. You gotta be one with the Snoop or Snoopy, not Snoop.
Snoopy Dog.
It is a deceptively hard game. That is true.
Sounds like save the animals, but instead it save the pizzas.
That would be an interesting category, actually. A full like win all the events and save all the pizzas run.
What is this?
That'd
Another
be
NES
awful.
game?
Yes.
Mhm. I assume most games are from NES, from the sounds of it.
Yeah. I was just a big fan of the NES.
I mean, that's my primary focus, so I understand. Although I haven't dove into the amount, like the, I don't know, I don't know if shovelware is the term for this. I guess so, but
It could be considered shovelware. If anybody out there, if you see a game that you want to run and you see me anywhere near the top, let me know and I'll help you out with it.
yeah, you'll
'Cause
be
if I'm
sick.
somewhere near the top, I've put some time into it. So
I'm sure they'll see you a lot.
it depends. I have some last place times too. Like there's games I'm not good at, like Solstice. I have last place in Solstice because I just the game breaks my fucking brain.
Out of how many
The isometric
runs?
and the jumping and the like 20 something.
So they'll see your name probably.
Let me take a look. I know it's last. I just don't know what number last it is.
Hey, top 20's top 20
Solstice.
no matter how you slice it.
Uh, I'm 50th. I'm top 50.
Top 50. See?
Top 50 in Solstice. There.
Biggest accomplishment.
That made my day knowing that now. That's exciting.
Huge news. Yeah. I'm just trying to think because there's so much there. Like I still can't comprehend the amount.
Yeah, I can't either sometimes. I look at it and I'm like, what the fuck did I do? Why did
like
I do this?
uh fun.
Are you gonna fun speedrunning?
Okay,
They
so
told
not
me that.
fun. Just trying to nail down why.
Yeah.
Gotta figure it out. But
Trying to think of stuff too. My brain is fried at this point.
that's fair. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to go over individual things when the list is so long. But
Yeah, I had to try and just pick the highlights because at least if you load my videos page, the site will not crash. So
yeah, that's good.
that you can at least look up. And I'd recommend some of them are fun. There's some really fun tasks in there.
Some good the sports last input things. I mean, again, that's super unique because most tests I've seen are not that even. Like obviously I knew about how they do their timing, but I've never thought of like
Yeah,
adjusting the run to account for that, I guess.
yeah. I kind of pioneered that a little bit. I wasn't the first person to do it by any stretch, but
Hmm.
when I broke onto the task scene, things changed. Like rules started changing. I started get things accepted that wouldn't have been accepted like a month prior. I kind of like challenged the system and pushed the system and pushed the definitions of the rules and everything. And because I didn't want to just go in and do tasks. I want to like change the world of tasking. And so I was hoping to do that with speedrunning as well with the lesser known or lesser loved games, but I don't think I had quite the impact I was hoping I would have. But that's okay.
You only won like 6 awards. No impact at all.
And well, like I said, the rules were a lot stricter when I started. And I started in like January, I think it was.
Hmm.
So like start a year fresh and go in and like I did Great Waldo Search and I did something else. Archon, I think was the second one I did. The chess like I found a better route through the game than what the current task had, and I obsoleted that one. And then started getting into more complex games, and it's like, okay, we're just gonna start doing whatever.
Hmm.
And I've actually like I managed to get American Idol published. Like the GBA American Idol game is a task that I made,
I know nothing
and
about
it was
that game. I don't
published.
even know what uh,
It's a
kind of game
rhythm
that would
game.
be. Okay, fair enough.
You can't. It's a GBA game. You can't really like use a microphone, but just hit buttons, and if you hit it on the right time, you're singing, and your character's still singing. And if you don't hit it at the right time, you miss a note or whatever, your character's they start singing very badly, and it's to a point of hilarity.
That's
So
good.
what I did for American Idol, and everybody should go watch that test after this. I found the best way through the game where you still actually complete the game, because you still have to hit enough notes to win, while also missing the proper notes that are the funniest. And I submitted it as an April Fool's joke in 2023 or 2022, and it got rejected. And I resubmitted the exact same run this year, April Fool's, and it got accepted.
Hmm.
So that's a testament to how the rules and everything has changed since I've been there. But yeah, everybody should check that out. GBA American Idol TAS.
I'll
It
definitely
is
be
fucking
watching that.
hilarious.
Uh,
I don't know any of those words.
I'm just gonna delete that.
Just looking in the chat, I was like,
That I don't know what just happened there. Anyway, yeah, I was gonna say I've seen it wasn't that, but I've seen some tests that did something similar, where it tried to beat the game in like the worst way possible, like a low score thing, but in a way it kind of makes it comedic based on the kind of game it is. But that sounds
yeah,
really funny. I'll have to look at that one.
it's pretty good. I had the RTA world record for a while. I actually lost that a couple months ago. Made me sad, but these things happen.
Yeah. Um,
Hey, Fizzy.
so the awards you won for tassing, like, was there like a particular task that won it? I know the Atari game, like that makes sense. But were the others like the amount you published, or was it like what like won them?
It's probably the numbers, honestly. I didn't because there's like NES Tasser of the Year and NES TAS of the Year,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a lot of the consoles have one for the TAS, one for the Tasser, and I didn't win any individual TAS ones other than the lucky one.
Okay,
Um,
so yeah, that's a amount kind of
so
thing.
it's mostly a numbers thing because I broke records for submissions and approvals in a year and all those things. So
Well, if it's a numbers
breaking
game,
records is
you're
what I
there.
do.
Yeah,
Exactly. Absolutely right.
yeah. But what were the other awards? There were a few.
It was Tasser of the Year, Rookie Tasser of the Year. This is my first year.
Mm-hmm.
NES Tasser of the Year, Atari Tasser of the Year, and Lucky Tass of the Year for Warlords.
Okay, so you did a lot of Atari games as well then.
I did, and those are some fun ones as well.
Those have got to
I
be
like check out
very
Adventure
simple.
too.
Yeah,
Adventure is a fun one.
yeah. I'm not
Good
super
thing.
familiar with Atari, um, but it, it's got to be hard to like get a proper task going for them because they're so primitive and simple that, and a lot of them are like
It
arcade
limits you a
style.
bit. Yeah, it limits you a little bit, but there's still plenty out there that can be tasked.
That's just
Adventure is
interesting.
probably the best one.
Yeah, if I was gonna think of like one Atari game that makes sense, it would be that because that's like play the game. There's a set end goal. It's not like an arcade game that most of them are.
And a lot of times you can get away with like Space Invaders, you just have to beat one screen, and that's considered good enough.
I see. Okay.
Which I'm on that one as well. I helped task that.
Yeah, that's really cool. That I mean, it's got to be interesting that your first year you get like 7 awards. Who else has done that,
It
right?
was, yeah, it was wrapped up in like October, I think. Everybody was like, Char's gonna win all these things, but it's still vote based. Yeah, still got to earn it, and I think I did. So
That's good. Yeah. I mean, sounds like there's some fun tasks in that collection and plenty of them.
absolutely, everybody should go watch all my tasks, all of them.
I will link the YouTube description. It will be there. I won't forget. I'm burning it into my brain right now, but I don't forget. Starting with American Idol, of course, of course.
Yeah.
It's a good place to start. Uh, Anything from the non-tasking side of things that'd be a comedic watch that you can think of?
Uh, hmm.
Big question. A lot to skim through.
Yeah, that's so it's funny, but not task funny. What was the question?
Like if there's just anything comedic to watch that wasn't from the task side of things, like an RTA speedrun that just the game is like funny to watch be ran or something.
Um, I'm not sure offhand, but Boko just reminded me of a run where There's virtual pinball for the Genesis. I did a lot of pinball runs
Hmm.
for some reason. But there is a table, and the goal is to get X number of points, and you can do it really fast on this table. But I got the ball stuck in an infinite loop, a very slow infinite loop. So it took 50 minutes of just sitting there, and I could have just reset and like got it done in a minute, which I did later. But it was pretty fun. Virtual pinball. I don't remember what table it was. It might have been Game Pro.
But
That
if
was
it
a
gets
fun
stuck in
one.
an infinite loop, wouldn't it be? Isn't that a soft lock, or is there a way to like?
You just gotta get enough points.
Oh, the game like ends if you get a certain amount of points.
And you can shake the table too to
Oh, they have the
unlock it.
built-in like tilting thing. Okay, I see.
I just let it run because it was funny.
I mean, that is pretty
It was
funny.
like 50 minutes of just sitting there, and then I had to pop off like, "Said it couldn't be done. Sub-hour, blah blah blah."
That is funny.
The old fake pop off.
Yeah. Wonder what kind of games. I mean, that'd be a good for a task, right? Last input,
Uh,
whatever got it stuck.
yeah, although I think you have to actually drain the balls in that game. I don't remember. It's been a while.
Hmm.
Hashtag drain the balls.
Uh, anyway, moving on.
You said I can say whatever I
I
want.
know it's again, you can blame me for everything, but
Just edit it out and post. It's fine.
you think I'm gonna put effort in edit? I don't. I don't do that.
Why the hell am I here?
Hey, I just take the recording and publish it on YouTube.
That's fair. I'd probably do the same thing.
Yeah. See, it's work smarter, not harder.
You need the YouTube thumbnail. They're like,
I mean, I could change it if you
how
want.
many world records? Any games?
I can always change it if you want.
Yeah. I think that's fine.
Okay. But yeah, this many. If you lined up all of them in, if you had all the games in person and lined them up next to each other, I wonder how long like the line of games would stretch out.
A lot. Hey, Miss Truffles, thanks for dropping in.
Got to be like a way you can visualize that, like some like animated, because there's a lot of channels that are popular that like make comparison size comparisons with those models. Should make someone take all the games you've run and put them side by side. Like see how many miles long it is or something. That'd be funny.
It would be a pretty long. Well, cards aren't that long really. They're like a couple inches. So
Yeah,
even
you'd have to
two
line
thousand
it like
inches.
whatever is the longest side and put them long ways side by side. And then it would probably go on for at least a mile or two. I have to
Yeah,
assume.
maybe.
I mean, it's a big number.
I'm not gonna do that though. I'm too tired. Somebody else can set that up.
Yeah, I'm not saying you to do it. So you get other people to do your work for you. That's what's working smarter's like.
That's why I keep telling people how to get world records. I'm doing the work, or they're doing the work for me.
Precisely. So you
I get
essentially
credit
have
for it, but
you essentially did half of it. So every
yeah,
two
pretty
runs you
much.
help with equals one run, and you can add that to the total. I think that the math
Yeah,
checks out pretty well there.
we like math. We like math here.
I don't, but in in these terms, it works out.
Amazing shark strat to finish the run in 0.89 seconds. Or 0.69. I can't read that number. 69.
That's a
Yeah,
nice
I
strat.
should probably get glasses. It is a nice strat.
Hold on,
You get some
I
glasses at
have a
some
channel
point.
point for this very moment. Oh, question.
Is there a game, a trick, or a record you think people should be looking at because it's clear there's a discovery that needs to be made? Uh, that's a good question.
That's a hard one.
Yeah. I'm gonna answer yes and leave it there.
Probably.
Yeah, there definitely is. Uh,
Yeah,
shit.
there's a game. Uh, anyway,
Yes, I think there is a thing. Let's move on now.
top 10 games you run.
Top 10.
All
Uh,
last place.
it would take it would take more hours than I'm going to be awake today to think about that. So I couldn't possibly do a top 10. Like Wizardry would be on there. I love Wizardry.
Mm.
Probably both the NES and the Game Boy version, so two out of the top 10 right there. And the rest are probably like uh, pinball games or something. I don't know.
That's a
I
great
don't
top
remember
10
half of the shit
list.
that I ran. Wizardry, another Wizardry, nothing else.
Pin,
Top
pinball
10
games, I guess.
pinball games, I guess.
And that's how you simplify 6,000 runs into the top or whatever into the top 10.
Yeah, if I had more time and I was less tired, I could probably come up with an actual top 10, but
Yeah, I won't.
um,
I won't force you to do anything like that. That's a big ask.
yeah,
I was more like
yeah,
jokingly. It was a joke
I,
question. I got a joke answer. I think that's respectable.
yeah, that was I saw what you were doing. I'm just burning out.
Yeah, that's
The
fair.
big thing, the other thing about Parkinson's and stuff is energy sucks.
Oh, okay.
So I burn out real quick, and then it takes forever to recover.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Also,
I won't
look
force
at
you
my
to like.
hand.
Oh wow,
This is my left hand. It's stuck like that unless I do this, and then it gets stuck again.
interesting.
It's all gnarled up and stuff. My right hand isn't really that bad yet. My left hand, this is why I don't really try and do any speed runs anymore because this is very gnarled. It hurts.
Yeah. Hey,
And
if
even
I
if I
know one
close it up and
thing,
I reopen it,
uh, if I know one thing though, one-handed runs.
yeah, I could.
I probably don't do that. You're probably making the right decision on not.
Yeah,
I
like I
shouldn't try
wanted
to
to go
entice
until I
you back into
couldn't.
it.
Yeah, I wanted to go until I couldn't, and I think at this point I couldn't. I mean, I
I
could,
think you did
but it just
well.
hurt.
I think you did all right. I think you're good.
Yeah, I had a good run. I had a good career,
Yeah, just one of the biggest careers out of anyone ever. Pretty good. Pretty good.
but not the biggest. So I'm coming back. We're gonna start some runs again. Get back into streaming.
No, no, wait. I mean, if you
Yeah,
want, but
no.
no, probably not.
I mean, technically, I want to. I'd love to, but
Yeah, I
I
mean,
am afflicted at this point.
some things are more important, I guess. But
Like pinball games, I guess. It's more important.
yeah, what is that? Just B and A? You can do that with one hand. There you go. Run some pinball.
Or I could use the keyboard and map buttons.
Yeah, there are ways around it. I don't want to
If you
accidentally
have any
make
other
you
questions,
unretire.
shit,
I
I accidentally did a speed run. Delete it. Delete it.
no, stop. People should play pinball games, I guess. Yes, that's a good takeaway.
That should be a soundbite.
Pinball games, I guess.
Pinball games, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure if there's any takeaway we want from this stream, it's pinball games. There's nothing else that could possibly be more important.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, I won't force you to stick around if you're burnt out, so
Yeah, I think we covered everything. We had a good time.
Yeah.
Some people showed up.
Times were had. Pinball was talked about. What more
Pinball
do you
games, I
want?
guess.
Pinball games, I guess. So I think we're good. But yeah, if you can think of any closing statements.
Um, Pinball games, I guess.
Hell yes. All right. It's a good.
No, I would say don't do what I did.
Yeah.
Honestly, don't get addicted to speedrunning. It's not don't just don't do it. If I ran a reasonable amount of games and stuff, that'd be one thing, but I pushed it way too far and learned from my mistakes, learned from my pinball, I guess. And people are calling me a legend. I disagree with that.
Why?
Why not?
I guess I can't argue with that, but like,
I don't know. I have a hard time accepting praise
yeah,
due to
me
my
too.
upbringing. Um, so it's just weird. It's weird to like have been considered a legend in anything, like a sport or a hobby or an activity.
Well, you got to listen to the people. The speedrunners know what they're talking about most of the times.
Derek, yo, don't speedrun.
I mean, yeah. Or it's not don't speedrun, it's don't speedrun 6,000 games in 4 years.
There's only 1,000 games.
Oh.
But yeah,
Well, don't do 6,000 runs in 4 years, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
Only a
And
thousand games. It's just funny about it. But yeah. Yeah. I'm losing my train of thought myself. So that's how my brain. That's how my brain is going.
yeah. Any last second
Yeah.
questions? Anybody?
Keep asking
Doesn't
away
have
if
to
you
be
have
pinball
them.
related.
Yeah. I'll try to wrap things up here though. Um. But yeah, I'll just say
Funny
thank
games.
you for being on the show. I think your story is quite inspiring myself. So take that as you will.
Yo, don't speedrun.
Well, I I'm more impressed by having such a lengthy career with being held back by what is like a very serious disability. So and and
It
using that
is.
as a way to like get the word out there, have some awareness for it is important. So that's my takeaway
It
from
is.
this.
It's a shitty disease, and I wanted to overcome it however I could. And streaming and speedrunning, for as short as I was able to do it, it's can't really complain, I guess.
Yeah,
Inspired a lot of people,
I'd say
so
it was pretty good. But yeah,
I'm
so
I'm a legend.
so I think that's a good takeaway, and then the other takeaway is of course pinball, I guess. So I think equally
Pinball, I
important
guess.
topics to
Here's a
end.
screenshot. Well, I guess.
Pinball, I guess. Yeah, that's a pretty good soundbite. I'm gonna be saying that a lot now. I don't. Start like playing pinball, I guess now. Guess that's the
It's
thing.
better than SMB.
Most things are. I'm allowed to say
It's
that.
just
But
that's
yeah,
fair.
um, yeah. If there are no more questions and you feel satisfied with our discussion, I guess yeah, we can wrap it up here. I guess feel free to self promote. I haven't asked you to do that yet. You can. I know we talked. Well, I guess you have self promoted, but now I'm telling you, you can do whatever. You have the floor.
But I don't do anything.
Well, you can't
Go
say
watch my
that when you
Twitch
have
channel
six
that's not
thousand
live.
runs on speedrun.com. You can't say you don't do anything.
There's no cloud I can steal here.
You can try.
All right, go to twitch.tv/Chardcore. It'll say last online May 31st, and then close that and go play pinball, I guess.
Well, you have YouTube. People can watch your collection. You tweet
Oh yeah,
sometimes,
that was
right?
fun. I have like 3 or 4,000 YouTube videos, And when I submitted them to SRC for the runs, I made all of them unlisted, um, so I could submit them, and they're still there, but the public can't view it.
Mhm.
And like a month and a half ago, I decided to just publish all of my thousands of videos at once.
At the same time.
Yeah, all of them. So there's
Oh
bowling
no.
videos in there. I really hope somebody got like 3,000
Yeah,
notifications
that's
that
what
I
I'm
published a
thinking.
video.
That definitely happened to someone. So that's really funny. Oh yeah.
This truffle assistant challenge people to load the page.
That is a big challenge.
Go to
It's
Spe-
hard to load
go to
SRC.
It is.
Takes
I
a
would
while.
try and pull it up now, but
It's not gonna
it's not a good
load.
idea.
And yeah.
So yeah,
Uh
speedrun.com/users/Chardcore. Go there and wait for 10 minutes. You might get in.
you might be one of the lucky few that are able to actually see the page. You see, if this isn't
It
great
pisses you off.
self-promotion, I don't know what is. This is the best self-promotion I've ever heard, so. See, and you said you couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it.
We just did it.
Shit, edit that out.
What? No.
Oh, you don't edit
I
it.
told
Damn
you I
it.
don't
That's
edit.
right.
Yeah.
Shit.
Too bad. Too bad. But
You've
yeah,
tricked me for the last time.
probably. But yeah, I also know you like when people actually play the games you've run and beat your records, so
Yes,
people watching,
absolutely.
do
Please,
that.
please, please go do that.
Do that, but like only one, not like 1,000. So you don't have to
Oh,
go
do
and.
1,000.
Okay, well, I'm having like conflicting advice here.
I'm too tired to do it myself. I'll let other people do it.
Yeah, but I thought the
I,
advice was
I,
don't speedrun unless it's pinball, I guess.
I still have pinball records to take that can be taken down.
All right,
So
that's fair. All right, you heard it. You know the drill, people. I guess. I guess.
pinball, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, want to thank everyone for watching on YouTube. You can watch these live. If you're watching on Twitch here live, you miss something, it's on YouTube. That's how you get people to watch both. Big brain strategies. And I
What
will,
a world we live in.
yep, and I'll leave as many links to you as possible in the YouTube description. So follow her on all of them. And there you go.
Follow my Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, FetLight. No, I mean Twitter, speedrun.com, S videos,
All right. Well,
other video sites that I can't say here.
oh, I see. All right. Well,
But yeah, thanks for having me. This was a fun time. I'm exhausted now, but
yeah,
it's a fun time.
I highly appreciate you doing this despite it obviously being harder than most people. So,
And it took us an hour to fix my camera.
it did. Yeah, it literally took an hour to fix the camera. But to be fair, your laptop brand kind of made that incredibly difficult for no reason. So, but
Yeah.
we got there in
I
the
don't
end.
think I've ever accidentally hit function F6. Like there'd be no reason for me to do that.
What a random key to trigger the camera being disabled or not and being unreadable by any program. Fascinating. I learned a lot today in many many instances. So
It was a productive day.
it was a productive day. But yeah, I guess we can leave stuff here. So yep, thank you for being on. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Thanks for having me.
Yep,
See you, everybody.
bye.